Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Tuesday, August 25th, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London. In Mexico City, it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. The Scottish actor Sean Connery, 007, is 79 years old today. We've got some economic news, actually two stories. The administration is announcing that their budget deficit for next year may be in fact as high as $1.5 trillion. Peter Orszag is announcing that. That's just coming out as we're broadcasting. We'll get some more information on that. Just before we went on, the U.S. Consumer Confidence number came out, and the Conference Board reported that the Consumer Confidence Index rose to 54.1 in August. This is up from 47.4 in July. According to the head of the board, consumer confidence appears to be back on the mend. Consumers were a bit more upbeat than they were in July about current economic conditions, but, quote, were markedly sunnier about the economy and their own financial situation over the next 6 months. Good for them. Here's something that will definitely dampen their spirits. This came out last night. Nearly 2 million Americans could be hospitalized during this winter's swine flu influenza pandemic. Kathleen Sebelius, the Health and Human Services Secretary, is commenting on this morning. The report came out by the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology, said that 300,000 intensive care admissions could in fact be expected. It says that 40% of the population could develop symptoms of the swine flu, and up to 90,000 people could die. During a normal flu season, the flu kills about 35,000 Americans. The numbers confirm those previously released by the Centers for Disease Control. However, officials at CDC are saying that there's great unpredictability in flu outbreaks and caution that this winter's outbreak could in fact be milder. These figures are not a prediction, but a possibility. Ms. Sebelius said, quote, "This is not the flu that we're used to. We won't know until we're in the middle of the flu season how serious the threat will be." In Martha's Vineyard, where the president is vacationing, he reappointed Ben Bernanke to a second term as chairman of the Federal Reserve. He, of course, is credited widely with taking aggressive action to avert an economic catastrophe after the meltdown last year. Bernanke was up at Martha's Vineyard standing by his side, so a sense of uncertainty now as to the next term has been removed from Wall Street. The stock market's up about 81 points, so that's good news for Mr. Bernanke at least. Some reinsurance numbers continue to come out. This is coming from Hiscox, domiciled in Bermuda. They posted an improved first half profit. This despite significant negative impact as a result of foreign exchange movements. They do seem to have been able to manage them. Pre-tax profit increased about 30%, up to £141 million from £109 million the last year. Net premiums written rose to £715 million from £513 million. Movements in foreign exchange, particularly the strengthening of the pound against the dollar since March, had a negative £43 million impact. The Hiscox chairman, Robert Hiscox, is well known for some of his commentary. He made some remarks in connection with the release of the issue. He said, "Exceptionally little capital has entered the reinsurance and insurance industry, so we're not assaulted by the usual fresh capacity full of optimism, but empty of experience." Mr. Hiscox hit back at players in the market who are competing for non-cat prone business to, quote, an unnecessary extent. He said that these players are stopping what should be a firming market due to the shortage of capital. As a result, this has led to a hard market for any business exposed to catastrophes and a weaker market in standard non-cat lines. Rates in non-cat have been weakened as underwriters worldwide seek diversification, and those who have reduced their cat exposure seek to replace income. Mr. Hiscox said, "I am sure when insurance CEOs analyze their underwriting figures, they will crack the whip and insist on more discipline. But at present, the cycle is alive and well, albeit split." Interesting observations, as always, from Mr. Hiscox. The wildfire in Greece by Athens seems to have been contained. Firefighters are still patrolling smoldering areas north and east of Athens to guard against flare-ups. Some fires are still burning near the coastal town of Porto Gemino, northwest of Athens. However, the fire did manage to raze about 52,000 acres after it exploded into life near the town of Marathon. It sent a pall of smoke over the Greek capital, cloaking Athens in a rather strange brown half-light. Most of Mount Penteli, which separates Athens from the Marathon plain, has been scorched outright, and about 150 homes have been reported burned, although that figure is undoubtedly going to go up. In the Caribbean, as you'll see here, look at the circled storm mark number 1. This is Tropical Depression number 1. The Hurricane Center issued an advisory this morning saying that this system, which is currently a system of thunderstorms east of the Leeward Islands, could develop into a hurricane in the next 48 hours. It's about 275 miles east-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands. It stands a 50% chance of intensifying and move quickly to the west-northwest toward the southeast U.S. It's moving at about 25 miles per hour. Stock market remains up about 82. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation. Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
Well, this next story is hardly a surprise. Reportedly, the Los Angeles County coroner has found that the death of Michael Jackson was a homicide. It could mean criminal charges for his doctor, Dr. Murray, who is pictured here. Apparently, the doctor administered a mix of drugs to treat Jackson's insomnia hours before his death. The homicide ruling was based on forensic tests that found that propofol combined with at least 2 sedatives killed Jackson. The finding does not necessarily mean a crime was committed, but it does mean that criminal charges will likely be filed against Dr. Conrad Murray. You should read the report on the internet and just see the actual cocktail of listed substances that had been injected into Jackson in the 24-hour period before he died. It's mind-boggling. On some insurance news from Bermuda, the ACE Group has announced that they have appointed David Jones, not David Bowie, David Jones, as head of power for its international P&C insurance business. Mr. Jones will be responsible for the continuing growth and performance of ACE's retail power and Boyle and machinery portfolios in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and Latin America. He's currently the regional VP and manager for technical risk, based in Singapore for ACE. He'll continue to be based in Singapore. Energy is on the agenda in Bermuda as well. XL Insurance has appointed Peter Bitterlin as regional underwriting manager for energy. Bitterlin will be heading XL's onshore energy team for Europe and Asia, and he'll be based in London. In his last position, he was senior underwriting for energy with PartnerRe in Zurich. He focused on refineries as well as power generation plants and mining operations. The South Korean rocket that was uninsured managed to lift off successfully. However, the satellite it was carrying